WCLN 1170 Radio and Star Communications Channel 16 proudly present the We Should Know Show, an upbeat, informative look at people, places, and issues facing our community. This education-based analysis of issues will remain positive and informative. Celebrating 15 years of bringing you the We Should Know Show, here's your host, J.W. Simmons.
Welcome back. We Should Know is on there. I want to thank you for being with us today. We have an outstanding show. Not a new program, but something that's been embedded in the community for some years. I want to introduce to you Joy Canady, who is the founder and president of something called Janice Fayes Ranch. And also with her is Kelly Adams, and she's an equine specialist. Now, for folks out there, ladies, that don't know what equine is, and the root word it comes from the Latin word equus, which means horse, or the horse world, which is four-legged creatures. That's also donkeys. Mm-hmm. But here we're talking about horses. And I'm going to start with you, Joy. Your background is pretty broad, everything from Hardbarger Business College, 31 years with Mary Kay. I mean, that's a long time with anything, but 31 years in that business world, and apparently that's been successful for you. One of the things that interested me is like this idea of what we're going to talk about today with horses. And I'm looking at the bio. It's just fascinating. And I want to circle back to some of these things because you talk about your mom and the legacy of this name, this Janice Fayes Ranch. I want to circle back to you with that, but I want to introduce Kelly Adams now. Kelly, when I looked at your bio, there were so many things that I wanted to talk about, but it seems though your journey started in Vermont, and it was a farm in Vermont. Mm-hmm. Now you find yourself from Myrtle Beach to Waccamaw River to Hurricanes, and you're not there anymore, to a guy that you ran into that ended up coming from Johnson County, and you landed there, and your perch there, kind of to your explanation, you found your soulmate.
I did.
And that was an interesting journey as well. So to start the show, let's start with Joy, the president and founder here of Janice Fayes Ranch. Joy, how did this come about? Obviously, in talking with you, it was God's blessing that He put on you, not God's burden. Although I'm sure without you do, it could flip back and forth. Talk to us about what struck you to engage your experience and put it into, and I'm going to say, use the word horse farm, equine operation. What drove that in your mind that this is something I got to do?
Well, my sisters and I grew up with horses, so we used to ride every day. And when my mom died in the car accident in 1984, we all get broken, right? We all go through issues in our life. And so I'd gone through several, and I felt like God was saying, horses, and share a ministry with horses, with others that are broken too. So and then after my mom died, and we talked about a name, I said, well, we have to name the ministry after my mom, Janice Faye. So that's how it all began. And then my husband and I became foster parents. And with the struggles that are involved with that, with these children, it was reinforced that we need something to help children, to help them get through their brokenness and move forward with their lives.
That's interesting, because I think that the foster parent thing is something I've had folks on this show to talk about, the importance of people stepping up and doing that. What was that thing that kind of triggered you and your husband to say, we either need to be foster parents or we should be foster parents?
Well, my husband's a retired fireman from the city of Raleigh, and he saw a lot of brokenness in his work, and it was actually his idea to become foster parents. And then after we began that journey, it was a big struggle, and still is, but it's very rewarding too. And so every foster child that we've had has taken part in this ministry that we have with the horses.
And a phrase that I saw coming up with you as well in your bio is that phrase, that scriptural phrase that talks about do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I think you kind of reflected on your mother basically demonstrating that.
Yes, she, of course, went through a lot of struggles herself, and I feel like God took her home to keep her out of going through some of the struggles like that in the future. So yeah, I'm not sure if I just answered your question. I just got my mom on my mind. So
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I want to circle over to Kelly for a moment. And then I'm going to come back to you, and we're going to talk about that book you're holding in your hands. So, Kelly, I want to circle to you because, Kelly, as I look at your background, Kelly Adams might have started out in Vermont, but you've been to a lot of places. You've experienced a lot of things. Particularly, you've been to Myrtle Beach. You've lived in a number of locations. Things have worked out in some places. Things have not worked out in others. And yet, with all of these places and these certifications you have with equine and understanding the psychological impacts, you ended up at Janice Fayes farm ranch here in Sampson County.
Yeah.
How is that journey, and how is this something this mystical, or was this a godsend thing?
Oh, it was definitely a God thing. And I moved around a lot because my dad was a developer. And when I was in Vermont, he was doing ski resorts, and my mom had a horse business. So everyone always asks when they see how many different places I've lived, are you a military brat? And I just say, no, I'm a brat, because I lived a pretty good life. But God wanted me to go that way, and I was always going that way. And he used some pretty significant events in my life to kind of get me headed in the right direction. And things like hurricanes and deaths and divorces and what have you to get me in the right direction. And my husband, as you said, is born and bred Johnston County. We were outside of Myrtle Beach in 2018 when Hurricane Florence came through, and our house was on 8-foot stilts, and we still ended up with 5 feet of water in the house, and it took everything that we owned. And my husband said, "Can we go home now?" And so he came in the fall of 2018. I followed right after the new year in 2019. And in looking for a place to volunteer, I got a email from her church looking for people who could help with their annual fundraiser, which is a golf tournament, which is coming up again. And I couldn't help for that particular event, but I was interested in finding out more about her program. And when we talked, she was actually getting ready to go to her first training through the program that I have my certification with. So I said, go to the program, and when you get back, call me and let's talk, and let's see what you think and see if you want my help. And here we are.
And it's interesting, Joy, because it's like listening to Kelly. It's almost, and Kelly, I'm just toss this out, and we can push this around. But it's almost like you found your place, your fit, and I think that's interesting. You had no idea that Kelly was going to be part of your life.
No, in fact, when God gave me this vision to do this, I was like, Lord, like he does with a lot of us, right?
Yeah.
I want you to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I can do this by myself. And
you got more than you were bargaining for, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, and I don't, I'm not obviously going to get into a preaching moment here, but it's almost like God laid out a path for you. And the good thing that you did is follow that path, rather than what you were just mentioning a while ago, Kelly, that all these places you've been following your own intuition, you followed something that was stronger in your life, and it put you two guys together.
Right.
I want to kind of circle back, Joy, to you again. And we just got 2 or 3 minutes here where we're going to break, but you're holding a book in your hand. There's a couple of books that I know you want to mention. Let's start with that one. Why did that book impact you, and why is it important for your organization going forward?
This book is the devotional that we share with the kids that come to the farm during sessions. written by Larry the Cable Guy's wife. And so a lot of the devotions in here relate to the children's issues they may be going through, and us as well. And then this one is one that we share as a staff, which is really good.
This one is far more technical because it talks about the trauma brain and how to work through it. And then the Unbridled Faith always brings everything back from the equine perspective, from the farm perspective.
And just for folks listening, we'll get a screenshot of that, and maybe the guys that actually make this show work can pop those up on the screen. And it may be that people want to buy those, take a look at it, and kind of dig a lot deeper than we're going to be obviously able to do with time on this show. But Joy, those principles and things that you talk about are scripture oriented. They come from the scripture, from the direction of Almighty God. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir. That's true.
And your leadership skills in that area has been won through faith?
Of course. That's right.
Do you feel like at times something maybe it's not working for you, or has that always been a strong point?
I don't apologize for my faith ever, and we all have struggles. So yeah, not saying that things don't get hard sometimes, but we keep persevering, and God brings what we need and who we need.
Yeah.
And that part of it, I think, when I talk with folks that have done not similar things with horses, but have found that place and they are in a comfort zone. Kelly, without the anxiety, they have found that faith place. I want to let you know we're going to take a break now. But Kelly, coming back, I want to circle to you and dig into some of the things that, should I say, equine therapy is excellent at, that folks might not understand that. So we'll be back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. We Should Know is on there. We're talking about equine, AKA horses, and how that may be a positive thing for youth in this society. Thank you very much. We'll be back in a moment.
Looking to refresh your home? At Clinton Appliance and Furniture, we've got everything you need to create the perfect space. We're here to help make your house a home with stylish furniture, appliances, flooring, design services, delivery, and repair. Visit ClintonAppliance.com to explore our selection, or visit us at 401 Northeast Boulevard in Clinton. Shop local. Shop smart. Shop Clinton Appliance and Furniture. At Fisher's, it's not just about fashion. It's about exceptional service. Experience top-notch customer care and find your perfect look. Visit Fisher's today and feel the difference.
At the Reedy Mark, we take pride in a unique, distinguished customer experience. We specialize in handcrafted cocktails, allocated bourbons, as well as gourmet signature food items exclusive to our menu at the Reedy Mark in Roseboro.
The average American household has 17 devices connected to the internet. With more and more devices able to get online, you may need to increase your internet speed. Call Star Communications today and let us help you select the package that's right for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We Should Know's on there. Thank you for joining us today. We're talking about a very interesting subject. We're talking about the word equine. At the same time, we're also defining that for you. It's called horses. So we're talking with folks that are doing things with horses. And Joy Canady, you are one of those folks with Janice Fayes Ranch. And Kelly Adams, you've joined the team here with Janice Fayes Ranch. And we talked a bit in the first segment about your background and your expertise in certain areas. But one of the things with, and you've got some national certification, one of the things with that in looking at it is the uniqueness of horses and behavioral health, the relationship between a horse and a child. Say, I don't know, foster care, Joy, whatever age that may be.
Right.
That ability to make a difference in somebody's life. Can a horse actually be the turning point in a positive way in a child's life?
I think anybody who's spent any time with horses would answer that with a definite yes.
Age, whatever age that may be.
It doesn't matter. I think science is finally catching up to what horse people always knew, is that there's something about the outside of a horse that helps the inside of a man. And horses are prey animals, and because they're prey animals, they're very aware of their surroundings and they are present all the time. And people as predators have a tendency to worry about tomorrow or worry about yesterday, or, we had a fight with our husband and we're still carrying that, or what have you. But horses live in the here and now, and that's how they've survived through the millennial. And that's what helps in the work that we do is, unlike a dog that's going to love you no matter what, horses are going to look at you where you are right now and how you present in front of them, and they're going to react to that. So whereas the world wants to tell us to put on our big girl panties and just deal with whatever we're dealing with, if we do that, our energy becomes kind of like that wild cat that's stalking its prey. Is they're super quiet on the outside, but all that energy is building up on the inside, and the horse detects that, and it's not a safe place for them, and they're going to react to it. And that helps us when we're working with kids and families, because we do a lot of family work as well, is to watch the reaction of the horse to the client, and then bring the client back to, all right, what were you just thinking about right now? What was going through your head? Because did you notice that Dixie, she's our only female, Dixie just stepped away from you. And so we can use those really subtle cues that horses use in communication to bring the client to the present.
Joy, I find that fascinating. So what you guys are saying is that through the observation of that horse is detecting something that we could never detect.
Exactly. You can go to your therapist or your best friend and say, everything is going great, life is wonderful. Put on that painted smile that the world wants us to always have on. And on the inside, you're struggling with depression or anger or hurt or anxiety or whatever it is, and you're holding on to all of that. Well, our body is energy. And if all of that energy we're trying to swallow it, we're still emanating that energy, and the horses sense that.
Joy, how many when you look at the landscape of people that come to Janice Fayes Ranch, what is the typical age group that you're seeing now?
The youngest that we can serve due to liability insurance rules is 8. But we've done families on up till, I don't know.
From 8 to 30?
Yeah.
So it goes beyond. So this is not, Janice Fayes Ranch is just not adolescent behavior ranch. It's a human behavioral ranch.
We've started doing a lot of family work. And so we have a principle that says a good principle is a good principle no matter where it's applied. So anything that we learn between horse and human interaction has to transpose to human and human interaction. Mm-hmm. So we're never going to talk about controlling the horse, because I never want anybody to think it's okay for a human to control another human being. Yeah. But we've started to do a lot of family work in overcoming communication issues. Where is the communication breaking down? How can we help mom and dad have a more streamlined communication that doesn't involve yelling or screaming or hitting or whatever it is? How do we get to a point where we can recognize that we're triggered, or our partner is triggered, or our child is triggered, and then find a better way to communicate and get them through that trigger?
Joy, you've got a unbelievable team of folks that is on your board, or I think you list them as your team, with just diverse backgrounds, everything from the court system to folks that work in the roads in North Carolina and law enforcement, that have this broad array of input. Do you see that as a key success point for you, is having that kind of brain thrust that you can pull from?
Oh, yes, sir, of course. They have been instrumental in getting referrals for us and bringing up ideas for how we can better the program. Yes.
How to fund the program.
Yes.
So,
Well, when I see people like the name Sherry Mathis on your website. I mean, everybody knows who that is. Everybody knows the Samson Independent. It's like, and she's got such an unbelievable history, and obviously she's been on this show. It makes me think that, where does those clients come from? Is it word of mouth? Is it somebody says, well, I talked to somebody that told me about what you're doing? Is it from the golf tournament? Where does those clients come from?
Our first clients were referred by the Sampson County Child Advocacy Center. So we work with them. We work with Sampson County DSS. We also work with Johnston County DSS.
JCPC, we're in the schools.
Yes, guidance counselors with the schools have sent people out there. We do team events to bring the awareness in the community of what we're doing. So that has brought a lot of clients as well, doing those team events with guidance counselors, law enforcement, DSS, Child Advocacy Center.
Worth Court. Yeah.
That says a lot, Kelly, when you think about it. If all of these folks that are considered professional organizations are actually referring folks to you guys, that's huge, in my opinion.
Well, it's an experiential therapy. And so when people always ask me what I do, it's like, you really do have to experience it to truly understand what it can do for a relationship. And everything that we do is about attuned, connected relationships. So we are, and that has to start first with self, and as a Christian organization with God. I mean, we were created by Him to have a relationship with Him. Through our faith, we can grow in our other relationships as well. And so we want to start with self and respecting self and understanding what boundaries are. We do a lot of work around boundaries. But as an experiential therapy, you kind of got to experience it to really understand it.
You got to kind of experience what you're dealing with before you can process it and know which way to steer. With that said, Joy, when you look at it from the role that you have, which is not only leadership, but the kind of the creator of this whole organization, are there areas that you would like to see more community input from, that you would like to see more people not only aware of the fundraising activity we're going to talk about, which is a golf tournament, but other things? What do you want folks to know if you had to look at everybody, of which you are really, in several counties? What do you want them to know that you need from them?
Kelly can read my mind. So the first thing that comes to mind is getting more people out there to experience what we do. Yeah. Because it's hard to tell somebody this will be good for you or this may work for this person if you're not out there and you know what we do. And there's no way to explain it without being there with the horses and experiencing it.
And we are volunteer heavy. To run a session, we need more than one person, because my job as the equine specialist really is to build the session, but to really be cued in and the interaction between the client and the horse. So I need other eyes that see the whole picture. And depending on, we don't do a lot of mounted work, but if we are doing mounted work, we need somebody who is leading the horse. We need somebody on either side. We need somebody who's, so we are volunteer heavy, or need to be volunteer heavy. And she's got a 15-acre farm that we need help with. Getting the grass mowed and keeping fences mended and all of that kind of stuff. And so to have a community that would surround what we're doing, because we don't charge for our services. We are free, because we never want money to prevent somebody from getting the help that they need. So if we could get the community to really embrace what it is that we're doing and kind of support the farm end of it, that would really let us focus on the program end of it.
Joy, we're going to take a break here in about 45 seconds or so. So I'll kind of give you cue in when I come back. I want to kind of talk about the needs you have to make folks aware. You've got a great website. You've got a lot of very well qualified people on your board and your team. But when I come back, I want you to be thinking about, how could Joy Canady, if she could write a prescription, if you will, write that prescription and say, we need this, and these folks to understand what we're doing and to make this not only better, but get people that help that Kelly keeps talking about and those kinds of interactions that people seem to need today. And when we come back, we'll talk about that. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in one moment.
Welcome to Cork and Brew Roseboro, where you can enjoy your favorite coffee, fraps, smoothies, bakery items, sandwiches, and select beer and wines while reconnecting with friends and family. Sit down and enjoy the experience. Come on by and give us a try.
We find in life that some things just go together, like peanut butter and jelly, cheese and crackers, steak and potatoes, and of course, milk and cookies. But the bottle and the throttle are never a good combination. Be smart, be safe, be responsible. Don't drink and drive.
Since our inception, we have distributed in food and supplies over $3 million worth out of Salemburg, North Carolina. And people always ask us, what can we do to help? So Norman has got some little slide cards here so we can tell you what we do need and maybe, as importantly, what we don't need.
Absolutely.
So, what we do need is soup, canned soup, ramen. What we do not need is hair tonic or hairspray. There's only one of us that uses hair tonic, and he has an ample supply. But we do need rice. We distribute rice every month. Bag rice, box rice, yellow rice, white rice, don't make any difference. We need rice all the time. What we don't need is live pigs. If you want to have that pig ready to barbecue, we can use that. But we do need canned vegetables. We'll take corn, beans, any kind of canned vegetables. We distribute about 2,000 cans of vegetables every month. What we don't need is chia pets. Sometimes early in the morning, Norman looks like a chia pet, so we don't need, particularly before he puts his hair tonic on. But we do need peanut butter and jelly. There's a lot of children at home. We use peanut butter and jelly, again, 12 months out of the year. Any size jar, any flavored jelly, grape, apple, it don't make any difference. We'll take any of it. We do not need sushi. The fish around here says, please cook me in lard. We don't need sushi. But we do need Pop-Tarts. Children at home, they eat Pop-Tarts. We need Pop-Tarts all the time. We do not need used tires. That may come as a surprise to some folks, but Norman has decided to bring his used tires around his belly. That's where he hauls his all the time. Send checks to the Christian Food Bank of Salemburg, P.O. Box 134, Salemburg, North Carolina, 28385. And Norman has a little note there that says cash is as good as money. So that's how you can help us.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. J.W. Simmons here, your host. The name of the show is We Should Know. We want to thank you for being with us today. We're talking about Janice Fayes Ranch. And ladies, we're talking about a subject that is important to everybody in some way or some facet. Joy Canady, you're the president, founder of this organization. Tell us what you feel like you want folks to understand about the organization, what you have put together, and how they can contribute to it. We've kind of give folks a taste, I think, of why it's important. But tell us, what kind of organizations do you want to hear more from? My first observation is, given the fact that it's a faith-based organization, are churches lining up to support what you're doing? Do you need more churches? Do you need more folks from government agencies? What are you looking for? What do you want folks to reach out to you and call Joy Canady and say, look, I saw the show and I've got this, I can contribute. Here's what I can do to help.
Churches have been great at assisting the ranch as well as other organizations, and we thank everybody. One of the first things that comes to mind is a huge need is a covered arena. Because of the weather, like this summer was scalding hot, or if it's freezing cold, when those kind of temperatures come up, we're unable to continue sessions out in the open, because that's all we have now is a pasture, and so is a huge need for a covered arena. The next would be getting back to people coming out to see what we do, and it's so important for parents to realize if the child needs help, the parent needs to be supportive. Bring the child to the session. That's an issue that we're struggling with, is we have kids that want to come, but the parents aren't all in bringing them. So a lot of times they'll start and you can see the excitement in their eyes and watch the change in the child in like the second session, but the parents won't commit to bringing them. Let's see, something else. Kelly's good at helping me remember.
She's filling in your blanks. Is that what you're saying? She's
learned to read my mind a little bit, which might not be a good thing, but
again, because it's a farm, so we need strong bodies that can help us put fence lines in. We need equipment sometimes to move things. We need, because she will tell you, I am not a paperwork person. I like being outside in the doing, but we have some funding through a grant, and it is paperwork heavy in order to keep that grant. And so we need behind the scenes people as well. We've got a wonderful girl who helps with the website and that kind of stuff. Fundraising, because again, we don't charge for our services, and we have 2 horses, a donkey and a hinny, and they need to be fed and vet care and hoof care and all of that, no matter what. So that's a good segue for the golf tournament. So because fundraising is a huge issue.
So Joy brings the question up, do you need more horses? If
no.
You don't need, no. Because I'm just thinking there's probably a lot of folks out there that say, look, I've been thinking about what I'm going to do with this horse because I've got the horse and I can't continue to feed him. And of course you see horses like this, I'm sure both of you do, where they just been maltreated, and you have to get the horse back in condition.
And actually,
that's a sad reality as well.
Well, all of our horses are they come from trauma situations of their own. So, but no, we do not need any more horses right now.
You don't need to expand that, because that actually brings on then more funding need and more, yes.
Well, and I get attached to them too easily too. So, and just to make sure we recognize, believe Equine Rescue in Roseboro, Lisa's been phenomenal at finding the horses for our program, because one, they need to be rideable, they need to like people, and so all the ones that she sent our way have been great. They are great. So
if you had to say, and thank God that we have a lot of church people in the counties that this TV station and the radio station cover. If you had to just say something to church people, how they could help what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to do, what would you say to church people today?
Church people, please continue your prayers for this ministry because God is doing great things. We started with one child, and it has grown to over 500 that we've served, and 200 just last year. It's just so please continue the prayers. We welcome volunteers, as Kelly said. We have lots of places we can put volunteers, and it's a faith-based organization. So having volunteers that are already Christians and have a huge faith would be phenomenal.
Well, and so we have a couple of schools that we are trying to build programs with on a regular basis. And again, we are volunteer based. Most people are still working. If we've got somebody who's retired who would like something to do, when we have a class of 14 or 15 kids that are coming, we really do need the extra bodies during the week so we can run sessions during the week and do the things with the schools that we want to do.
Kelly makes a good point in the sense that we're looking at two school systems here in Sampson County. You're looking at Blade, and you mentioned Johnson, Cumberland, Duplin. Those school systems, what the leadership, the people that are on the boards in those areas, the superintendents, what kind of message do you want to give to them today? What would you say, look, this is what we would like to partner with you with your school system? Because a lot of kinds of things that you're trying to deal with and that you're working on with adolescents, they deal with every day. So what would you say to them? And I'll let you start, and then Kelly will also.
Well, it's back to getting them out there to experience it, because if they don't see the need, experience,
it's hard to see it on that side.
Yeah. And then I feel like they would be better able to know what this could do as far as helping the kids.
Especially with mental health. And with what's going on with the mental health situation in schools. And I mean, we can go into the classroom and there are activities that we can do without the horses, but you can't practice equine learning if you don't have the equine.
The horse has to be present.
Right.
And you can't take the horse in the classroom. So
I've done that before, but we are not in a situation to do that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And I think one of the examples I'm just thinking about here is like the State Employees Credit Union. Those folks went out to where you were, and they actually experienced the kinds of things that you're talking about, and they were forthcoming with a grant for you. And I think that's the kind of thing, if people, as you pointed out, both of you pointed out, if they go out and experience that, just call you and say, hey, we saw this show, we heard what you were saying, when can we stop by? You'll make arrangements for them.
That's right. I'd love to.
Kelly, there's so many things that you've mentioned that I want to circle back to, and we're going to be coming up on our last part of the show. But when we look at the behavioral health side and we look at what's happening with some of the organizations that we've all talked about here, is social services, behavioral health organizations, public schools, oftentimes they get caught in the storm and they don't get to react and say, here is a potential solution, or here's where we can help you. And Joy, not many people are willing to step up like you and your husband and say, we'll be foster parents. That's something that social services is telling me and has said on this show, we need more of those. How do you encourage people from being a foster parent to step up and do that, and it's okay?
Children have issues that you would never have imagined, and walking alongside with those children and their social worker, it really is hard. But if you have a heart for helping people, then I think it's something that everybody should try.
I think what I'm hearing is for folks like you that are doing this is like it is not necessarily for everybody, but you have to say to yourself, if this is something you want to do, you will find a sense of self-worth out of it, but you also have to be prepared, because I can only imagine, you're basically opening your door, and depending on the age, dealing with something that you don't know what you're dealing with.
Right. I mean, some people have asked us, how could you let a stranger in your home? But when your heart is open to helping people, you trust God to provide and to protect.
Well, and we're called as Christians to take care of the widows and orphans.
Yeah. And somehow you have to get beyond that. Is that what I hear both of you saying? It's like, somehow I've got to put that aside and allow me to work somewhere that maybe I didn't think was right. Have you ever run into a situation you said, look, I can't take this anymore, come get this kid?
There are no throwaway horses, and there are no throwaway people.
Right.
No.
And we live in a society that when it doesn't work anymore, we throw it out. If it's difficult, we throw it out. We toss it to the side.
Might not be working here at this time,
right.
but somebody can make it work.
Right, yeah.
Right. There you go. Because a lot of times, we find that it's better that it works somewhere else.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment. We're talking with Joy Canady and Kelly Adams, and it's about a ranch that has horses on it, and it's about therapy for people that need it. We'll be back in a moment.
How can your friend save you money? It's easy. Refer a relative, coworker, neighbor, or friend to Star Communications. Friend signs up for high-speed internet service. Friend's new account is confirmed. Friend gives your name to our service representative as the one who referred them to Star. You receive a $30 internet credit. It's just that simple. And even better, receive a $30 internet credit for every referral that results in a new confirmed account. High-speed internet from Star Communications. Refer a friend today.
Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
This year, when you get together with friends, we hope you have a great time. Just remember to drink responsibly and know your limits.
Let me have your keys.
And always have a safe way home. Enjoy responsibly and always
1937 for a chance to win 5 free tickets.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. J.W. Simmons here. The name of the show is We Should Know. We're talking with Joy Canady, the founder and president of Janice Fayes Ranch. Also Kelly Adams, and she's an equine specialist. And Kelly, I don't say that with any negativity, because being a specialist in this area, you've got some national certifications. You've done this for quite some time. You have to have, I think, some innate talent to be able to do a lot of things you do, and looking at it from behavioral health. I've got several things I want to touch with you on as we go into this last part of the show. And there was a couple of things that struck me, and as we were on break, we were talking about them, and some of our folks here mentioned one of them that I didn't have on, but I'm going to circle back to that as well. One of the things you mentioned, it was just a 3-letter word, and actually, you could say 2 main words, but it was, you mentioned this phrase, you said, the here and now. Mm-hmm. One of the things I'm picking up from that is you're looking at behavioral patterns in children, reactions and relationships, and you're trying to help them deal with now rather than looking back at their experience in time, whether they were adolescent at 1, whether they were in the womb and with their mother. Mm-hmm. Those feelings start way back then, but you're trying to get them to now and let them understand the path forward is a decision for them to make a change or to still try to live by the past experience. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Well, so there's a saying that says hurt people, and healed people, heal people. And everyone that I know that has gotten involved in whether it's equine therapy or dog therapy or any kind of therapy is doing so because sometime in their life they needed it and they found something that helped and they want to pour that back into other people. And the more we study trauma and what trauma does not only to the brain but to the body, the more that we are recognizing that the body remembers. We were talking earlier about, when a baby is in its mother's womb and it's growing and it's stretching and contracting and stretching and contracting, at some point when it stretches, it's going to reach the end of the beginning of mom. And when that happens, that first time, right, the baby kicked, right? And how wonderful that is. Well, when it's a positive pregnancy and that happens, mom's brain is flooded with dopamine. And so the baby's brain is flooded with dopamine. So before we're even born, when we reach out for connection and we get that positive thing back, our body remembers that. So as we look for connection later on in life, our brain and our body is going to go back to that original flood of dopamine. Conversely, if that reach is not a positive pregnancy, and when mom feels that kick for the first time and it's a negative feeling, the baby learns that when I reach out, I'm going to be rejected. And, as the womb gets smaller because the baby gets bigger and there's more contact, right? Every time that baby is connecting to mom, it's a rejection, and our body remembers that. So, and that's, before we're even born. So we learn about connection from the beginning of our life. And what our program centers around is finding that authentic, true connection to ourselves, to others through horses, and then to other human beings. And it's recognizing that in order to do that, we can't be worried about what happened yesterday. We can't be thinking about that, somebody hurt me or whatever the situation is. Or we can't be so worried about it's going to happen again tomorrow that we can't be present. If we want to live connected lives, if we want to have true, good relationships, we have to be able to be right here, right now, and put away. That doesn't mean we never think about it again, but be able to deal with, recognize when we're triggered, find a positive way to deal with that trigger so that we can then move on in a good, connected relationship, if that makes sense.
Kelly, what strikes me with that is I think what you just explained should help people know no matter what age they are, up and 80, 90 years old, because there's that particular idea, which is extremely hard to do, is to say, I don't remember so-and-so, and I'm not going to worry about that. You can say that all you want to, but if that's impacted your life, your brain automatically, and I'm not a scientist or psychologist by any means, but it seems to me your brain automatically deflects that moment. And you react based on that deflection. It's extremely important, I think, for folks to understand that what you're saying about horses is that unlike some of the other animals that you just talked about, the horse can actually intuitively sense that in people.
Again, because horses are prey animals, right? They have to be very aware of their surroundings, because throughout history, if they're not aware of the fact that the big lion is out in the field, they're going to get left behind when the herd runs, right? And they're going to be attacked. So they have to be very aware of their surroundings, and they require us to be present. So if we are around the horse, brushing the horse, and we're thinking about the fight that we just had with our sibling, the energy in our body is going to change, and the horse is going to feel it, and they're going to react to it. It could be as simple as a flick of the ear or a step away, right? And it's just their way of communication saying that the energy isn't right. So we put our clients in situations where they have to face the present, because the present is, whether it's our 250-pound donkey or our 1,100-pound Tennessee Walker, right? If you've got something that large in front of you that wants your attention, you got to be present. Yeah. So our donkey is phenomenal at helping to teach boundaries, because he really doesn't want to have any. And a lot of our clients that come to us, they've never had safe boundaries. They don't know how to set them. They don't know how to keep them. They don't know how to respect them. When you have a donkey that wants to start at your feet and work all the way up and smell every part of you and maybe nibble at your ear or, nibble at your shirt, you learn to set boundaries, because he'll do it unless you tell him not to.
Yeah. So it's kind of a co-learning environment. Mm-hmm. The animal, the horse, is learning you. At the same time, we're not intuitive enough to understand what is that horse looking for? What is it? But the main thing he's looking for is the survival part. Mm-hmm. It's survivability, whereas we're looking way beyond it in all of these other distractors that are hitting us. And today's world with tablets and computer games and all that, joyous. Sometimes I look at it and wonder, how do we survive? Because there's so much stuff hitting our windshield. We can even turn the wipers on our windshield and it's still not clear sometimes.
Well, what we've done is we are creating, and we're seeing it in every section of society, we are creating a society that is shut down, because there is so much information coming at us at all the time. The brain, in protecting itself, is just going. Remember, survival is fight, flight, or freeze, yep. Right? So we're creating a bunch of kids that just freeze, because it's too much information all the time.
And that's not a good place to be. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole idea, I think, behind Joy, what you're doing, is making people more attuned to interactive communication.
Right.
And you want to see that expanded.
That's right.
We're coming kind of close to the end here. I want to make sure we get some things in. One of the things is the 6th annual golf tournament coming up. Yeah. This is going to be at Timberlake, Joy. What do you want people to know about this golf tournament? Why is it important?
This is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and it's for our operational expenses, because the grants that we do receive are restricted. So we do need operational funds to keep going. And we already have 15 teams, so we have room for 10 more. We'd love to have you come out and play. We also need hole sponsors for the golf tournament, and people can call our ranch number at 919-820-5601 if you'd like to be a hole sponsor or sign up to golf. That would be great.
We're going to post this. This will pop up on the screen on the TV side here, and the radio folks might get some calls on it, but if they call that number, they can find out whatever they need to know. Kelly, anything you want to say about the importance of this golf tournament?
Well, like she said, we do get some grants, but very few grants will actually allow us to use their money to buy horse feed, pay vet bills, that kind of stuff. So the golf tournament gives us the ability to spend money as we need to spend money to take care of the farm and the horses. And we feed you breakfast, we feed you lunch. There's mulligans, and I'm not a golfer. I think life can be frustrating enough without chasing a little white ball around a big field, but there are a lot of people who like it. So, breakfast, lunch, mulligans, red bomb. You'll have to ask a golfer what that is.
That's the get to hit one. I learned what the red bomb is. Yep. You get to hit from the women's team one time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so if you're a woman, do you get to hit from the youth tee?
I don't know about that. We also have hole-in-one prizes for all par threes and a $10,000 hole-in-one contest.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is going to be a fun experience. We're coming up to closing the show here in just a minute. This is going to be a fun experience, and it is a nonprofit. The Janice Fayes Ranch is a nonprofit. So, if you've got something at the end of the year, you need to make a donation or something, that'd be a good time to do it. Donate it here, and you can help through you guys to better care for our adolescent world and to help people in a more positive way going forward. I want to thank each one of you and all of those folks that work with you, Joy, for what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you again right here. We always try to develop a show that is not only informative but educational. I think you will probably find this show just that. We'll see you again next week, and may God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of We Should Know with host J.W. Simmons. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion regarding this or any episode, please send your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2:30 for another informative episode of We Should Know.